reset my time real quick. Okay.
No means no. Breaking the barriers of marital exception.
Emma Pitcher.
Tyler Markich.
Austin Kern.
Please help me. I need medical care. I've been raped. On November 8th, 1978, Marjorie Mason was beaten, kidnapped, and raped by her former boyfriend, Fresno County Deputy Officer Robert Tillman. I sought medical attention, and 2 days later, the hospital called the police.
We're going to take you to the station to file your complaint.
Okay, but you're going to have to come get me from work for the photographs because I have something I need to complete.
No problem. Just give us a call when you're ready to be picked up.
This is Marjorie Mason. I need to be picked up from work, but the man who attacked me is right outside.
I demand to talk to Marjorie.
Deputy Tillman, she doesn't want to talk to you.
Then I'm not going anywhere. Marjorie's rapist was right in front of the police, but rather than arrest him, question him, or do anything other than supervise the conversation, the Fresno Police Department didn't do anything, so I went on my way. If I have to go to jail, somebody's going to the hospital.
Now that we have the photographs taken, I'll escort you to your friend's house. You'll be safe.
I don't understand why you didn't do anything to Robert when he was stalking me outside my work.
These things take time, ma'am. The detectives say they're going to start the investigation into your claim next week. Marjorie Mason was raped on a Wednesday, and the police were informed of the crime early on Friday. But the decision had been made that the official questioning of Robert Tillman would take place after the weekend.
This is Marjorie Mason. I'm being kidnapped. Please send help. Robert, you're hurting me. You have to stop.
I don't think so. You're coming with me. Come on.
Well, they're not at the Mason home. They must be at the Tillmans. Tillman, we've got the house surrounded. Come out with your hands in the air.
What are you doing? Oh God, no!
That Monday, investigation into Marjorie Mason's rape never got started because Robert Tillman kidnapped and took his Fresno Sheriff's Department service revolver and shot Marjorie to death while she was handcuffed to a chair. In honor of her memory, the Marjorie Mason Center was created to give shelter and comfort to those fleeing domestic violence. 1 out of every 10 women will be raped by an intimate partner, and statistics show that during this performance, from setup to takedown, 500 people will be physically abused by their partner. Today, police are better trained to handle these life-threatening situations, but prior to 1976, there existed barriers in every state preventing married women from seeking justice against their spouse who had forced themselves upon their wife sexually.
This is the Portland Police responding to a 911 call. Open up.
My husband slapped me around, hit me, and forced himself on me. He raped me, and I want you to arrest him.
You said husband?
Yes.
I'm sorry, ma'am. There's nothing we can do for you. There isn't a law that prevents a husband from having sex with his wife. Maybe you can go somewhere for a few days until he calms down. The barrier protecting husband rapists was established by English Chief Justice Sir Matthew Hale in 1736 when, without legal citation or pending case before the court, he stated a husband cannot be found guilty of raping his wife because of their mutual matrimonial consent and contract unto which the wife hath given herself in this kind unto her husband, which she cannot retract.
If we pass this bill removing the marital exception, we are inviting the downfall of society. Who are we to interfere in God's sacred covenant of marriage? When a man and a woman take their vows, the woman bounds herself to her husband. The husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife doesn't have any authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. Gentlemen, sex is that marital duty.
We must pass this bill to protect our wives, mothers, sisters, and daughters. How can a non-consensual act, if perpetrated by a stranger, be a felony, but if committed by a marital partner, be legally nothing more than an inconvenience? It is wrong, and it is about time we do something about it. In 1976, Nebraska became the first state to break the barrier to marital exception by allowing the prosecution of a spouse accused of rape. It would soon be followed by Oregon and ultimately all states in 1993.
Where have you been?
The store, silly.
Don't lie to me, Greta. I want to know where you were and who you were with.
The store, groceries, dinner.
You think you can just go out with whoever, whenever? Well, we're going to see about that. Let's go to the bedroom. I'm going to remind you that I'm your husband.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and Jennifer's awake. I don't want to have sex.
I don't remember asking. Let's go. You're only going to make it worse.
Stop. No, you're hurting me. Please don't do this in front of the baby.
After having listened to the evidence in this case and considered the law, on this day, December 27th, 1978, the jury has found you not guilty of rape, Mr. Rideout. You are free to go. At trial, the defense was able to question the victim about having her 2 abortions, lesbian sex fantasies, and how she got her definition of rape from a poster at a women's crisis center which said, "If she says no, it's rape." The law also required the victim to put up the utmost resistance, which she could not prove she had done. Even though the law is breaking barriers, there still existed obstacles preventing victims from getting the justice they deserve.
John Rideout was the first man convicted for the rape of a spouse after the 1977 removal of the Oregon state rape laws. Although he was acquitted of the crime, the case broke barriers because it demonstrated that women were no longer going to be considered the property of a man to do with as he pleased.
Hello?
Carmelina, I've driven by your apartment several times in the last few days. I've got to say, I've been real tempted to stop by for a visit.
It's over, James. The divorce decree has been given. It'll be finalized in a couple of months. You just need to leave me alone.
You're my wife, and my children need their father. You're just confused. Come home and you'll see that everything will be great.
I am home. These last 9 months apart have helped me see that you and I are not meant to be together. It's 2 a.m. and I'm going back to sleep. Quit calling, James.
Carmelina, open this door and let me in.
Go away or I'm going to call the police. Help, get out of here. You don't belong here.
Someone has broken into my neighbor's apartment. Send the police right away.
Shut up, woman. You had your chance to do the right thing.
You can't just bust in here.
You're my wife and I can do whatever I want.
What's going on here?
This man broke into my apartment and attacked me.
I'm her husband.
We're getting divorced and he doesn't live here. You need to arrest him.
I can see the finger marks on the back of her neck, and since you don't live here, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
I'm not leaving my wife.
Do you really want to go to jail?
Fine. I'll leave.
He needs to be in jail. He attacked me.
He's gone now, ma'am. Just try to get some sleep.
On May 5th, 1978, I separated from my husband of 10 years, and 5 months later, a preliminary divorce judgment was granted. On February 8th, 1979, my husband broke into my home and attacked me. The police, often not wanting to get involved in domestic issues, merely ordered him off of the premises, even though he was trespassing, breaking and entering, and committing battery upon my person in an apartment I was paying for. And I'm so sorry to bother you, but I needed someone to talk to. James just broke into my apartment. I'm okay, the police ran him off. I'm just so scared. Oh my God, he's back. Anne, call the police.
Be quiet or I'll kill you. Take off your clothes.
This appeals court finds the trial judge was not in error to exclude questions about the taking of oral contraceptives, the victim's sexual history, and for finding the law removing the marital exception to state rape laws valid. On September 10th, 1979, James Chrétien broke barriers because it demonstrated James Chrétien broke barriers by being the first man in the U.S. convicted for the rape of a spouse after the removal of state rape laws.
John Rideout, I sentence you to serve 2 consecutive 100-month terms in prison. It took 39 years, but on this day, March 18th, 2017, the man who broke barriers by being the first spouse convicted of raping his wife after the removal of the marital exception was convicted of raping 2 women known to him.
1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence from the hands of an intimate partner.
Breaking the barrier of the marital exception is a great first step, but state laws are full of holes, as Jenny Thiessen found out last year when she discovered it is not illegal in Minnesota for a spouse to drug the others so they can have sex with them without consent.
Rape is inexcusable for strangers, and it shouldn't be overlooked when perpetrated by a spouse.
No.
Means
No.
No
No matter who you are.